can count on. This is Fox 2 News at 10.
The house where firefighter Benjamin Polson died is now torn down. But what took so long? And why are there thousands of other vacant and dangerous homes?
Days after St. Louis lost a firefighter in the line of duty, the word got out. The firefighters' memorial downtown was absolutely trashed. Not anymore. You've got to see this.
The Florissant Valley Fire District is facing its busiest year yet, and now its ambulances and resources are limited. More on their decision to cut service.
Fast changes on the way and fast wind switches. Cold air is on the move.
Events like a motorcade in downtown St. Louis celebrated MLK Day. We'll show you other ways folks celebrated coming up.
Fox 2 News at 10 starts right now. First on Fox, the vacant home where a St. Louis firefighter died in the line of duty is now torn down.
Yeah, but neighbors and politicians say it took way too long to do it. Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes looks into what's being done now.
Now an empty lot behind me, a home sat there vacant for decades. According to the city, the owner from Arkansas reportedly behind on their taxes, and also the owner reportedly ignoring city demands to take care of it. And then it collapsed on a firefighter who was making sure no one was inside when it burned. Vacant homes sometimes burn when homeless people start fires to keep warm.
This is what keeps me up at night, you know, what's the next house that may be set on fire?
This is Alderman Jeffrey Boyd's ward. We met near the scene of Thursday's vacant home fire. You can see two more vacant homes across the street.
That's the big challenge that people don't understand. Oftentimes you have homeowners that live out of town. What do? The city cites them for whatever citations are warranted. They don't respond. You can put them in housing court. They don't show up.
City records show inspectors condemned the home that burned Thursday 3 years ago. The city says it also issued thousands of dollars in uncollected fines to the out-of-town owners.
These are properties that are, as we've seen, a death trap, and we've got to clean them up.
Missouri State Representative Donna Behringer introduced legislation to help St. Louis leaders act quicker.
The process to actually streamline getting someone to come clean them up, keep them from getting to the point where there are trees growing out of the roof, is a process that is set up by state statute. Please, not only should we pass this, it needs an emergency clause. It needs to happen tomorrow.
Boyd cautions, though, on how city leaders act.
We can't just tear down every vacant building. We will destroy the architectural landscape of once vibrant community.
He points to former Arlington School that he says he was pressured to demolish.
Now resisted, and today I'm just proud to say that was a $34 million housing development called Arlington Grove over there on Martin King and Bird Avenue that I'm so proud of. But had I listened to the naysayers, it would have never happened. We would have just torn down a vibrant building.
The job is tremendous, with St. Louis having 10,000 vacant properties, many owned by the city itself. Boyd says he's requested a list of all of them so that he can work block by block with city leaders. For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.
Two teenagers managed to escape and run for help after hearing gunshots in their Fenton home.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is investigating what appears to be a murder-suicide. Fox 2's Jeff Bernthal is live with reaction from stunned neighbors. Jeff?
We are on Fenton Ridge Drive here at Mandy and Shirley. And yes, the folks who live here say this is a really quiet neighborhood, and they are searching for answers about how this could happen. Authorities saying that this appears to be a murder-suicide that happened inside this home earlier today. Authorities not releasing the identities of the victim and suspect, but say both shared the same last name. They say it appears the 47-year-old man shot and killed the 42-year-old woman. Now, the two teens who were inside the home ran to a neighbor's so that the neighbors could call 911. Dispatchers were also able to hear some comments from inside the home from the victim's cell phone just before those deadly shots were fired. We spoke with a neighbor who asked not to be identified. She said her heart goes out to those teens who ran out. And here's the Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer.
There was no apparent history of any kind of domestic situations between these two individuals prior, at least nothing that had been reported and documented by police. So for all intents and purposes, it does kind of seem like this one kind of came out of nowhere.
You just really never know what's going on in people's homes until something tragic like this happens. You have no idea who's having problems or, you know, what that could result in.
Now, the sheriff's office also sending thoughts and prayers to the surviving family members tonight. Sheriff's office can connect you with resources if you're in a dangerous domestic situation, but point out that sometimes those resources are hard to find. Reporting live from Fenton, Jeff Bernthal, Fox 2 News.
A St. Louis area fire department is forced to limit how far their ambulances will transport patients. This after the department and many others in the area get more and more emergency calls. Fox 2's Amelia McGoverill now with why these changes are being made now.
The Florissant Valley Fire District made the decision Sunday to only transport their patients to their 3 closest hospitals. And the department tells me that this was a very tough decision, one they actually had to make in 2020, but it's necessary to keep their resources closer to residents. Florissant Valley Fire Department is facing what many departments are. More calls and limited resources.
Physically and mentally, it can drain on the crews, and that's probably the biggest thing that we're seeing.
Chief Medical Officer Mark Flaughter says the department made the choice Sunday to only transport patients to the 3 closest hospitals: Christian Hospital, Northwest Healthcare, and DePaul Hospital. He says the new restrictions come after seeing their highest number of COVID patients yet.
We're almost 3 times as many patients in 2022 as in 2021. So if we're transporting to a more distant hospital, that's an extended amount of time that resource is not available for our residents.
Flaughter says distance isn't the only thing limiting their resources. He says each time a team transports a COVID patient, that team has to clean the entire ambulance.
We write down almost every surface area that can be contacted by the patient or ourselves. We run our UVC light. We run that for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. It's a light that can kill any airborne pathogens such as COVID.
The whole process could take more than half an hour and can increase ambulance wait times. Flaughter says about 92% of patients already go to those 3 area hospitals, and the restrictions are only temporary.
But it's something that we'll reevaluate on a weekly basis, and as those numbers start to decrease, we will obviously go back to transporting to those more distant hospitals when we're able.
Now, there are exceptions. The department says they will transport patients to outside hospitals if that patient is a specialty care patient like pediatric or cancer. In Florissant, Amelia McGoverill, Fox 2 News.
The family of an Amazon worker killed when a tornado hit the Edwardsville, Illinois facility last month filed a wrongful death lawsuit today against Amazon and 2 other companies.
The family of 26-year-old Austin McEwen claims Contegra Construction Company and TriStar Properties and Amazon were negligent leading up to the deadly warehouse collapse. The lawsuit accuses the companies of not building the 4-year-old warehouse up to code and not including a basement.
We spent the past month reading countless articles on how Amazon knew a tornado was coming, but made the decision to have our son and others work during a peak delivery season for Amazon instead of evacuating the area with no storm shelter in place.
Amazon said in a statement, "We believe our team did the right thing as soon as a warning was issued, and they worked to move people to safety as quickly as possible." Amazon said the lawsuit misunderstands key facts about the differences of severe weather and tornado alerts and said the building met all codes. And for more on this story, just go to fox2now.com. Well, celebrations honoring the legacy of civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for MLK Day. This happening in St. Louis and all across the country. Fox 2's Stephanie Rothman is live tonight in downtown St. Louis to break it all down for us. Stephanie?
And what a couple of celebrations it's been this year. MLK Day holds even more significance as lawmakers gear up to vote on voter rights bills on Tuesday. As for today, there have been many events held throughout the area. Let's bring you some footage to show you what has gone on in downtown St. Louis this morning. Cars lined up to show their support for the iconic Dr. King. The 53rd annual MLK celebration became a votercade as this year's motorcade shakeup due to COVID also made voter registration available on site. In Washington, D.C., hundreds walked through the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge, with some King family members in attendance urging voter rights bills to move forward, themes which members of the Washington University Performing Arts group Black Anthology expressed in dance for their school's virtual celebration. The group dances to the song Glory, playing while poems by Black poets are read too.
Reiterate and show the stepping stones of okay, these are all the steps that we've taken. There's been a lot of pain. There's been a lot of work to be done, and there's still a lot of work to do, but we can be hopeful about it.
To check out more MLK Day events we have on our website, check out our website. That's fox2now.com. Reporting in downtown St. Louis, Stephanie Rothman, Fox 2 News.
And you're watching Fox 2 News at 10.
When coverage you can count on continues.
Tonight, how's this for flipping the script? Days after St. Louis lost a firefighter in the line of duty, the firefighters' memorial downtown was trashed.